Hey, Rowena. Hey, Mrs. Johnson. Yeah, I'm not really in the headspace to go home right now. Well, it is almost... Actually, now you look at that, it's officially my death day. Yeah, it's always kind of hard this time of year, especially considering how young I was and what I wanted to do with my life. Did I not tell you guys my story? Oh. Well, it starts off pretty simple enough. I mean, I had wonderful parents. It was the youngest of 4. Yeah, all brothers. Definitely an interesting childhood in that aspect growing up. Especially once I got to my teenage years. Yeah, between those 3 and my dad. Well, not just my dad, but my mom as well. Because she's a 5-foot redheaded woman. You don't fuck with her. Well, Dad was in the Army. Army brat. Learned a lot from him. In fact, pretty much he instilled a lot to us, and which is why all of us joined some form of the branches. Myself and the second oldest brother, he joined the Army. The oldest joined the Marines. And the youngest brother, he joined the Navy. Yeah, he gets the most grief. But, so, just moving from base to base. But we always had each other, and we were able to make friends that way. Then, like I said, I joined the military. Which would have been fine, but not long after I joined, September 11th, 2001 happened. And that's where it started. So, when we first went to Afghanistan, I was in a supply unit at the time, so even though I wasn't frontline stuff, we still did see some things, but nowhere near as amount as those who did the initial push. Yeah. So then the deployment came back, and I'm not saying this is anything bad against them, but there wasn't a lot of female representation in the leadership at the time, and one of the things my dad always taught me was, if you think something's wrong, don't just sit back and bitch about it, go and do something. So I signed up for officer candidacy school. Yep. Did that, came back, and was officer for one of the platoons in our company. Then the Iraq War began. So we get over there, and that's when the downfall really happened for me. Not because of that, but I was in charge of a lot of the convoys, and there was this one that happened. We were bringing some supplies to a base, and all of a sudden an IED hit one of the front vehicles, and we were attacked. We were lucky that we were near another base and they were able to come and help us out, but unfortunately we lost 3 soldiers that day. And even though up here I knew there was nothing I could do, they were already gone, I blamed myself for a very long time. Took it upon myself. But the mission had to continue, so I had to bury it deep down. Then I come home, and my dad, he and my mom both saw something was wrong. So they pushed and pushed, and finally went and got evaluated and was diagnosed with PTSD. Then I had to deal with the fucking VA. So once I get the diagnosis of PTSD, of course, the military starts the process of medically discharging me. No, I was not in a good place at all to be a regular soldier, let alone a leader. So, I mean, it was a huge blow back then, but knowing what I know now and reflecting, it wasn't going to happen. So, start the process with the VA, and initially it was okay. I mean, I think the doctor just had to prescribe me something, so they prescribed me hydrocodone of all things. Yeah. But at least this doctor somewhat was on their game. They knew I wasn't taking it. No, I had enough family members who were in the medical field who told me, do not take this. It will make your PTSD so much worse. But this doctor was working really hard to get me into a treatment facility. And, you know, as long as the meds were being filled, they didn't care. Then, unfortunately, he retired. And I got a new one. And this was one of those by-the-books people who didn't care. Well, I can't really say if they cared or not, but unless it was going the way it was supposed to, it's just kind of hard to describe. So, that one figured out really quickly I was not taking medication. Came in and had sat me down and told me they were going to start doing monthly blood tests. And if it wasn't in my system, we were going to have to start, I was going to be considered non-compliant, and trying to get me into a treatment center was going to start the process all over again. Oh no. I tried to explain it to him, and gods and goddesses know my parents came in there raising all kinds of, didn't care. So I'd actually start taking the meds. Yeah. This was in Colorado. Wintertime. Yeah. Which is leading me to when I died. So with the medication and the PTSD, it made the flashbacks so much worse. I mean, full-blown hallucinations. Then one day, it happened again, triggered a hallucination so real I ran outside in Colorado during the dead of winter at night in just jeans, a t-shirt, and tennis shoes. Yeah, by the time, I guess you could say it ended, it was too late. I was in the late stages of hypothermia, fell down, passed out, and that was it. Woke up here. Well, yeah, I was Norse pagan, and Frigg was there, which I knew she'd be part of the process, but I guess apparently she took a special interest in me. And even though my physical ailments were gone, my mental were still there with the vengeance. So she took me and to the meditation garden, the reflective ponds and all that, and helped get the process started of healing the mental wounds. And through that process, she introduced me to Farrell. And through that, I guess, Farrell saw that I needed a mother figure again. So she introduced me to Angel, who then introduced me to Big Babs and everybody. And then Angel became like another mother to me. And when I was ready in my my mental wounds were healed, I started working for the wardens. And not long after that, Farrell and Babs and Angel came to me and said they wanted me to be part of the Karmafia. Not long after that, the leader of the wardens wanted to reincarnate, and everybody agreed I should get the position, and I think part of it had something to do with the fact I was already part of the Karmafia, so... yeah, it's like I said, it's just hard because I didn't want a very elaborate life. I just wanted to find someone to grow old with, have children, but it is what it is, and at least I found a new family up here. You guys included, of course. When my parents found out what happened, they were on the warpath. Well, no, of course, they tried to cover it up, but you've met me, right? That's nothing compared to my parents. So, of course, they found out, and like I said, they were on a warpath, and they've at least brought attention to it. I mean, it's still a shit show down there, but they and others who have brought to light what's going on there are working to change it. But, well, I don't want to see them for a while. I want them to have a good life because I know what's in store with them, my brothers. I want them to have a good life, but then when they come up here, I want them to see this other family I formed so they know that their little girl is taken care of. Oh no, I've already talked to Frigg, and she's already told me that once I'm ready, she will introduce me to my soulmate, so I'm looking forward to that. Until then, I've got a department that I'm newly in charge of that I have to help run and figure out, and all this stuff being in the Karmafia entails. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what being part of the Karmafia is.